Okay. We doing it?
Fuck no. But yeah, right.
Let's go. All right. G'day. This is the Two Beards Wrexham Podcast, your go-to for all things Wrexham AFC. Join us as we chat about the highs and lows of our favourite footy club. She'll be right, mate. G'day, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all-round legends. Shit is backwards this week. It's all over the place because fucking Birmingham and Sky TV like to throw spanner in the works and mess up our beautiful schedule.
Cooked.
It's cooked. But welcome to the Two Beards Wrexham Podcast. I'm your host, Rousey. Ginger Ninja over there in the gold is Adrian. He is half sleepy, half dead, but he's still here in spirit.
Exactly.
But we are doing things a little bit different this week. We're going to be reviewing and previewing the Birmingham game all in the same episode. How are we going to do that, you might ask? Well, it's the beauty of editing. That's all I can say about that. So here we go. Another week. Adrian, mate, how have you been?
Yep. Yeah, been good, mate. Been good. It's just topsy-turvy week. Didn't like not having the football over the weekend, but we push on and we hope that it'll make for an entertaining week for us. That's for sure.
Well, yes. I mean, I do agree with you on that. It's fucking bullshit. I hate not having Saturday night football. Like, I know it's at ridiculous hours of the night for us, but it's our Saturday night. It's what we're used to. And then, Sky Sport come in and they got to flash the cash and steal some big games. And of course, they steal the biggest game so far of this season, which we will have a lot to talk about with that. It's going to be a brilliant, brilliant game.
Mate, it will be. And I think the biggest thing is exactly what Rotherham's manager called it. What did he say? We haven't played the Real Madrid and the Harlem Globetrotters of League One yet. And that's what he called Birmingham and Wrexham. So maybe that's the clash that it's going to be renamed for the years to come.
Well, let's get some housekeeping out of the way before we get into the meat and balls of the day's episode. So, guys, links in the description down below if you want to become part of our Patreon program. What is that, you might ask? It is a fans-only program, which gives you access to your boy here and Adrian round the clock on a private Discord, fans-only Discord. You get to send us nudes. You get to do whatever you want to do. There's no rules in that chat. But no rules. It gives you access to a private Discord, gives you shout outs on the podcast every week, it gives you discounted merch off our merch store, should you choose to buy anything from our merch store. And also gives you ad-free early access every single week to our podcast. That's right, it'll cost you $5 a month. It's less than the price of a beer, which I am very, very satisfyingly drinking right now. And yeah, that's all it is. Links will be in the description down below. Come along, join us, have some fun, sign up. Or if you don't want to do that and you want to shout out on the pod next week, just send us a super chat and we'll shout you out. But anyway, that goes to our shout outs of the week, which normally is Adrian's job. Let's see if he can get through it this week. He's looking a little bit worse for wear. Just looks like he's been out on the town for
we're working on Rousey time at the moment, so it's a bit late for me. So we're going off of that. But no, it is a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good weekend ahead, or a week ahead, as this is Sunday night we're recording. So we have got very lovely executive producers that we have to thank. Again, for those who just know, Rousey's just mentioned it. All that money goes towards getting us our butts over to Wrexham. So that is all that it's for. It's not for anything else. It's just to get us there and hopefully be all up amongst it. And those ultra fuckheads, our executive producers, steer that ship quite well. And that's David, Bryant, Welsh Techie, Anthony, and Sarah. So we're very lucky to have you guys on board for the ultra fuckheads. And then we've got the rest of our brethren. What is it? Beard brethren, Sheila's fuckheads, just all round legends, as Rousey likes to call it. Aaron, Andy, Will, Chris, John, Anthony R, Deandra, Mark, Drew, Neb, Ryan, Jake, Vincent, Chris H, Benjamin, Ryan, this Chris, this Adrian, no Steves, still disappointing.
Still no Steves. Damn it. Yes, you, mate. You and I, we're like kindred spirits because I was literally going to chime in with still no Steves.
Still no
and you did
Steve.
it. Fucking that. See, that's how
Telepathy
we are, mate. We're locked in. It's just no going anywhere now.
And you know what? We're so in sync. I know you're going to talk about Elliot Lee's junk at some point this evening. Like, I feel like that's on the radar just because we're so in sync.
Oh, right. Well, we're going to just do a quick review of the Salford game and do a quick preview of the Birmingham game. So we've got some stuff to talk about after the break. So we got to go to that, don't we? Yeah, fuck.
Oh, what? I was getting ready. I was pumped, mate. I was like ready with the stats. I'm ready to go. And you just ad break. Just disappointing.
All right, let's go to the ad break. Fucking let's do it. All right, guys. Stick around. We've got
don't worry about it, guys. Don't even worry about sticking around. Fuck it. Don't even stress. Fucking just log off.
Let's go to the ad break. Elliot Lee's got a big dick. Well, we had a very, very interesting game. Quite a different first 11, I would say. We went up against Salford City. It was, my opinion, it was a gritty win. It wasn't a pretty win. But
definitely gritty, not pretty, that's for sure.
That's right. But what do they say? The good sides always find a way to win, and that's exactly what we did. So, I mean, we got to see Scar, we got to see Rathbone, we got to see Revan, no James McLean for this one.
A starting Paul Mullen.
Paul Mullen with an absolute blinder of a goal. Let's hope that this is the start of something. But wow.
Well, it's funny. This week we talked about the game, and it was when it was on and the teams were announced. I mentioned him because he's the only one who's not a Wrexham supporter in our Discord, and that's our mate Neb. Shout out, mate, who's in the fuckheads, and he went, "Oh, what does football come to? What was it? Like something around like football? Football's gone daft. Wrexham playing a first 11 in that." And he's not wrong, but it's just not our first 11. Like it's an 11 that'd be in most teams' first 11s. That's how good the lineup was. But as you know, we had a different rotation of people. We had our lovely Paul Mullen start. We had a appearance from our mate Mo Fowl. We had people along the way who haven't been able to make it into the side, even though they were bought to be first team players. Rathbone, Scar. These are the kinds of guys that you expected to just waltz in, and they haven't. And guess what? We got to see them on the weekend. And what was it? Weekend? Fuck, I can't remember now. But it was a good game all in all. Let's go into Paul Mullen's goal, mate. Can you always do a good description of it all? But how was your was it blood pressure? I don't know, but how was it once he ran in for that one?
I just think. I mean, the way he put a really nice curl on that shot. He was never stressed out from it. He received the ball. I think he received it from Mo as he saw the run, and Paul Mullen
memory's hazy.
Side. Yeah, slotted it, played him in perfectly. No pressure. He just stood up tall, got centered over the ball, and it just in the most casual way possible. I think it's probably the best way I saw it, is just chip the ball over the keeper, but
That's what it felt
put
like.
enough bend on it that
That's what it felt like. It felt like a chip goal, and you're just like, like when you see it, it's like, holy fuck, that's a perler. He's curled it just perfectly. But it was that casualness about it. And that's what we talked about in last week's ep when we said, when Paul Mullen's coming on late in the game, he's only got 20 minutes to play, 15 minutes to play. He's rushing those. Do you know what I mean? He's taking a bit less time than he normally would, or he's just putting a bit too much thought into it, vice versa. This guy had it perfect this time around. 18th minute mark against Salford. Sat, like you said, stood tall over the ball, really just went, right, where am I putting this? And he's just football brain, just slowed down time and just went, yep, I got all the time in the world here. And just it felt like a chip goal. He's curled it over the top. One of my favorite aspects of Paul Mullen's game is
it
that
actually dipped high low as well.
Yeah. It was
nuts.
a very, very good kick. And it's one of my favorite things about Paul Mullen's game is that he comes on and he can show, I wouldn't say effortlessness, but it looks like it's effortless. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks effortless. And the way he's able to do that, it's because it's Paul Mullen. He's able to do that. He's one of the best in the game. And it was a really funny thing to think about that we started a Paul Mullen against League Two Salford. And in the end, it was actually a really good reason to do so, because later on in the 50th minute, we conceded, and it was looking like we might. That second 11 that we have weren't really competing at one point.
Yeah, it was a very, as I said, it was a gritty win, but not a pretty win.
That's the way.
I mean, the second goal, none other than a Boyle header. First of all, what the fuck is going on with that dude's head? He needs to go back to the bald head.
Well, there's that, but also I was surprised that, I mean, even on the FOTMob app, he still claims the goal, but I genuinely thought he wasn't going to get it. So it's good to have Willie Boyle on the score sheet late in the game, 83rd minute, gets us the win. I mean, it's what we expected, but I think it was good to see a second outfit. Again, someone like Will Boyle, being there, he's going to become immense when we need him, because we have the depth. When we need taller blokes on the field, he's one of those guys we can chuck up the front when we need it. Like even Mo Fowl, like I know everyone shits on him because he had a
let's touch on that real quick. You brought up a really good point, because I thought he was okay.
Yeah,
he didn't rock anyone's world, but and I wouldn't have thought he was below average. But here you've got a young kid. He's 21 years old, just been recruited to a side, hasn't really been given time to gel with the side, and he's going out and he looked like he was trying to get involved with everything from what I could see. I don't think he had a bad performance, but I don't think it shook anyone's world. No. And I don't think he had that expectation to do that.
No.
So everyone's saying how average he was. I mean, I don't know. I just think that's a bit too soon to call that, and a bit harsh.
It's harsh.
I mean, that's like saying
stupid.
Paul Mullen's off, like completely off, and not going to score anything in his shit because he's hasn't scored anything in the actual football league yet. But we all know he's just got a bit rusty, and he's got to get, once he gets back into it.
And you know what it is? Right. Like they've just used to the way I would relate it is everyone jumped on Marriott at the end of last season. They were like, "Oh, we brought him in, but he's not performing the way we want. Yeah, he's all right, but he's not performing the way we want." And we gave him the time, we gave him the preseason, and all of a sudden he's our best player of the year. I'm not saying that'll be exactly the same, but it's definitely along that same line where people judged way too early, and they got their comeuppance because, let's be real, they got the come up the pants. Like that is literally what happened, because when Jack Marriott came on later on in the year last year, he was playing, he wasn't getting the goals. It was a bit of a thing. And then all of a sudden, kicking goals left, right, and center, it'll take the same amount of time for Mo Fowl. And I genuinely believe that. I think this is a really, really good test of a competition. I know there's a lot of people who boycott this competition, and rightly so. The fact that the Premier League are putting in their fucking reserve sides under 21s is still some horse shit, but I digress. The main thing though is this is a really good league to stay in to test things out. You don't want to do that in the FA Cup. You don't want to do that, and other times of the year, we just don't want to be testing it out later on. This is the time. The fact that we've got these group games, easy. This is the time to fucking shake it up. And if we get through it, then we can start going, all right, it's at the knockout phase. Let's actually make a push for this, because it's been 20 years since Wrexham won that trophy. And I know as much as we boycott it because of the Premier League side of things, it still would be a nice little trophy to add to the cabinet if we were to get that far.
Now, is Paul Mullen back?
Hey?
Is Paul Mullen back? Does he start now after he's got a goal in under his belt? Or
no, it doesn't work like that. It's exactly the same thing I just said there, where it's a league to test things. It's not a time to be bringing him back right now. Let him do that in the league. No worries. Let him do it in League One. That was a League Two side, which, 2-1 respectively, although it was our second 11 who haven't really gelled, it's a lot of people thought we'd put them away. So again, Paul Mullen needs to come through the hard way and go the long way around. And that's unfortunate, but Marriott is firing right now. Palmer's firing right now. You don't change that. And if you do and it doesn't work, then there's a problem. So best to don't change a good thing right now. I love Paul Mullen more than the next person, but you don't start him.
How crazy is that, man? What sort of backwards fuckery are we in now, where we're actually sitting here saying we're not starting Paul Mullen, the guy who's scored over 100 goals for the club, and we're not going to start him because he's just front two at the moment. I mean, what the fuck? It just bends my mind.
It boggles the brain, but it also makes sense. Paul Mullen isn't Wrexham. He embodies it. He is one of the greatest players to wear the badge. I love him, but he isn't Wrexham. The team is Wrexham. The club, everyone who comes in and out of that side is Wrexham. And I know Paul Mullen wants to win. And if it means him sitting on the bench while Marriott is firing, yes, he'll be stewing. Yes, he'll want to be kicking those goals. But do you think he celebrates any less when we win? No. He will be going ham.
Yeah.
So exactly. He wants us to win just like everyone else. So does Parky. Parky has no favourites except for Will Boyle.
And his brand new hair.
His brand new hair. Waiting for him to grow an afro.
He's got the full dart going down the back too, eh? If you look at the back of his hair, he's got the full dart going down the back. I'm like, damn it, dude, he's onto his hairstyles, but probably should stay bald.
Yep. Look, for someone who can't grow their hair, I definitely think he should stay bald.
Well, that said, I think, you hit the nail on the head. Salford City, gritty, not pretty. They had a starting 11 in that side that had not played together, wholesale changes all around. It was always going to go that way. But now we move on to Birmingham, the most talked about round in this competition this week. And oh my gosh, it's going to be big. And with the way the results have just gone, it means it's going to be even bigger, but still means we're going to stay top if Birmingham beat us. So that's okay. But
I think it's funny when you think that way. Like, this is a good test. But I think the Discord made a very good point of it, which is like it's getting way too pumped up right now. Like what? They had Wrexham give Eli Manning from the American football New York Giants legend beat Brady in a Super Bowl.
That was a major dig.
Major dig, but it also doesn't mean shit to Birmingham fans. It's just to Tom Brady. Like, Birmingham fans are like, who the fuck's this guy? And they're like, we barely even know who our owner is. Who's this guy? Oh, did he beat him in a Super Bowl? Oh, unlucky. Whereas, like,
the rivalry between Eli Manning and Tom Brady was massive.
Oh,
I mean, you're talking about that was the era with Drew Brees as well. So,
nah, dude,
um,
it was the Super Bowl. Like they won, like the Giants beat the unbeatable, and took it to the Patriots. So it's just one of those things. I'm probably like we're probably talking out our ass for the people who are the Americans who properly know their gridiron. We'll leave that to you. But what I think is funniest out of it is everyone's like, "Oh, it's a dig! Oh, it's a dig!" All the Americans are like, "Oh shit, it's a dig!" And all the people in the UK are like, "Can we just fucking play this game?" Because this is just ridiculous at this point, and it is. It is a bit of a joke. I think it's great that we're embracing it and getting more media around it. But geez, it's not helping the Disney FC haters, like the people who call us that. They are out in force. And now Birmingham's getting dragged into it. If I'm Birmingham, I'm getting pissed off because Brady's been quite silent, really. He's been a silent benefactor. And now they've brought him out of the woodworks with this. So what
I've
are you?
been listening to a few of the Birmingham pods over the week, and
Yeah.
a few of the other Wrexham podcasts that have actually had people from the Birmingham pods on. And look, the general consensus is that they are confident, but it's not like a full confidence. They know that Wrexham can
They're
score.
confident,
They
but they're
know
not
they're
confident.
weak defensively,
Hmm.
but they also too have a lot of attacking power. But then again, they're coming up against a Wrexham side that have kept 4 clean sheets, and we've got probably arguably one of the best goalkeepers in goal at this current time.
In League One, yeah.
It's going to be so hard to call this game, and a lot of them are of that. I've heard a lot of draws coming out. Like people think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a packed out St Andrews on a Monday night under the lights. I mean, it's just going to be violence. It's going to be great.
It's going to be good, but I think another thing with these games. Then again, I said this same thing before the Notts Wrexham game, when it went down to the wire, that epic with Ben Foster and all that shit. Like I said it back then, tweeting about it. I'm like, guys, we're overhyping this game. It's not going to be as good as you think. And I was completely fucking wrong. That was one of the greatest epics of all time on that Easter Monday back then. So, but maybe I'm doubling down again with my prediction that we're overhyping this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. I think I think we can still win. I don't doubt we can, but this whole thing that people are like, oh, it'll be just a goal fest. I just doubt it because of the amount of clean sheets we've got. Yes, they're weak defensively, but I mean, I don't see Marriott kicking three. Cut to him kicking three, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't think it's going to be hugely goal heavy. I think we'll definitely give it to them, and we'll definitely make it a fight. But yeah, draw doesn't sound bad either. Again, we were partying after a draw against Bolton, by the way, guys. We partied, and now we look back and we go, oh, Bolton are actually, like they're actually
Well,
not
they
that
kind of
great.
fell apart after that draw.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. It was because of us, but
Yeah.
but that's the way to the mental thing of not thinking we drew against a shit side. But that's what I think this could be. I think this could be one of those draws that, like you said, it's away from home. That we didn't get much of an allocation either. It could be a party central with the very few thousand fans who have been led into the ground, and we take a win. But if we get a draw, I'll probably be dancing up and down taking that. I don't know about you.
I'll be balls out to the wind, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think it's because we're both. Well, both. I like to think we're both. After saying that, we're both level-headed. No, but we're both. We both understand that this is not. What is it? You might have won the battle, but we'll win the war, kind of thing. I love that saying because it is that. These are little battles happening, but they are ultimately. If let's just say we do beat Birmingham, but then we lose against fucking, I don't know, Charlton. Yeah, I'm trying to think of teams, but like we lose against teams that are lower end. I'm trying to get at. My point is, that's when we go, oh, okay, shit, we're in trouble here. We need to be picking up points.
This, in my opinion, has all the hallmarks and feels of Notts County away last season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we came up against Notts County away,
Yeah.
and we were coming up against them when they were towards the like I think they were like second or
Yeah, they were
worse, like they
firing all
were
cylinders, yeah.
firing on all cylinders, and everyone was touting it to be the matchup because of what happened the previous season, all that sort of stuff. I mean, this has got the same feel to it as that in a way, but
Did we win that one 2-0? Didn't we? Did we win that
yeah,
2-0?
we won that 2-0.
Yeah.
We went away and won it 2-0. Now, that said, hearing everyone's opinions on this has been really interesting because you've got some sides that think Birmingham are just going to do a 3-1 or,
Yeah.
a lot of people predicting a draw and all that sort of stuff. But you've got a side in Birmingham typically which play very attacking. They don't play a particular formation. They do change their formation a fair bit.
Mm.
They have not kept a single clean sheet this game, so they do concede goals. So, which means that their defense and possibly their goalkeeper is a little bit average. And looking at the goalkeeper playing for Iceland, it was a little. He, I don't know if he's that quality for Birmingham. They might want to consider switching, but we don't know. But
Famous last words. He could stop absolutely everything thrown at him this weekend. And I think that's the thing of football is we can talk till the cows come home about what statistically should be the result. But like we've shown with terrorist football, it doesn't work like that. You could have all the possession. You could be the most attacking team. You could have all the clean sheets in the world and still go down 5-0. So I think the biggest thing at the moment is just kind of keeping a level head that it's not all doom and gloom if we did lose, if we were to lose, but also understanding it's a growth curve. Really, this is the best time to get this battle, by the way. Best time to get it is it's early doors. We've got a pretty much full strength side with options, and we're going up against, the favorites for the title. I think that this is the best way to go. Even if let's say we came up short, we go, cool.
Yeah,
That's the team to beat.
All of a sudden, actually, you just brought up something really interesting because all of a sudden, the talk has really started to shift among the whole entire football circle, not just Wrexham fans, but the whole entire football circle. They're all starting to look at Wrexham as the real deal, and they're all starting to now put Wrexham in the automatic promotion positions this season. So, interesting development there.
Well, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying if Birmingham do come up against us and they do if they beat us, this is the best time of year for it to happen because you go, right, that's the team to beat. This is what they put up against us. This is what didn't work. This is the football's, it could be defense. It could be our midfield. It could be anything. And then we identify what we need, go into it and adjust, and then play our brand of football with those slight adjustments, knowing that next time we come up against them at the racecourse, we'll probably have their number. I'm very confident in that.
Well, I'm dying to know, Adrian, what is your score prediction?
Well, I've ebbed and flowed. I think it's going to be a 1-0 win to Wrexham. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I still think we can keep a clean sheet, but anything can happen in football. Could be an absolute goal fest. We could lose, could draw. Who cares? At this point in the year, it's about learning what we can do. And if we can win, then fuck yeah, we're putting a statement out there that we're the team to beat. But it also means that we've got to continue to be the team to beat. Do you know what I mean? So it starts here. But yeah, 1-0. How about you?
Well, I've been thinking about this one, mulling over it, wanking over it, doing all sorts of shit over it, giving it the old Cleveland steamer, as they say. I'm gonna settle on 2-0 to Wrexham actually on this one. Now, it's a big call, but Wrexham do keep clean sheets. And if we can shut down their defense, they will not have any avenues to goal. Just like every other team we've come up against, we've been able to cut down the avenues towards goal. And we do have scoring threats, and they have been proven to be a little bit weaker on defense. Now, it could be a complete score fest in this game. You never know. But I'm going to settle on 2-0 to Wrexham to win this one and make a huge statement.
And I mean, like we said this, we've done the commentator's curse before. Like we're Accrington, We both came out last season when we played Accrington away before the game and said, we're going to make an absolute statement here. We're not putting up with this shit. We're going to win away. We're going to make an absolute statement. And we got rolled. My point is, anything can happen in football. Depends who's turning up, turns what's going on. I think the main thing, and I keep saying it every week, but it's more almost to myself. I'm kind of saying it out loud to kind of get it through my own head, which is it's not all doom and gloom. If we can look on the bright side of whatever happens on the weekend, we lost to Stockport 5-0 at this point last year. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying we did. And it wasn't the end of the world. We still came up second. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that time of year where it's not all doom and gloom. This is the team to beat. If we were to lose and everyone starts going, chuck that in your documentary, fuck you, fuck that, fuck it. We cop it. We put our head down, bums up, and we move on. And I think that's what I love about Parky Ball is that Parky understands it's not a fucking sprint. It's a marathon. And I think we'll get through it.
He's got that 24/7 post-nut clarity.
He does. He does.
All right. Well, we're going to cut.
Did not expect that. Just out of the blue, mate.
Mate, you got to learn to expect these things from Rousey.
Oh, when Rousey starts talking to himself in the third person, then I start to worry. He's like, yeah, when Rousey gets like this, you just got to be all ready for it. It's like, Jesus Christ, this is not a good.
That said, now we're going to cut things up, guys. We will see you on Wednesday. Well, actually, no, this will all be in the same episode, but we're going to now be recording on Wednesday. So now we're going to be doing something a little bit different just for this week because of how the games have panned out.
We're going to look so dumb. So dumb.
Because of how our schedules work and all that sort of stuff. Now we've given you our preview. Next up will be our review of the Birmingham game. So let's hope we're not crying in the corner and in the fetal position and just giving up on life. So let's cut to the next segment where we now review the Birmingham game. Here is to future Rousey and future Adrian.
This is going to be so bad.
See you. Yo. Well, thank you, past Rousey, and thank you, past Adrian.
You're both fucking idiots.
Yeah. With what fucking numpties, eh?
Numpties of the week. Adrian and Rousey. Fucking Jesus Christ. No, it wasn't all that bad. It's not all doom and gloom. It was, look, mate, firstly, we're still top of the table. So let's just soak that in firstly. Let's just keep that in mind. Top of the table. We'll take it. But at the end of the day, we took our first L for the season. How are you feeling about it, man?
I'm a little like I woke up at 2:30 in the morning to watch this game.
Yeah.
And now we're recording this, so I'm feeling tired about it.
Yep.
But I mean, fuck it. I tell you what. I mean, I was so excited when Jack Marriott scored that first goal so early, and we looked dead hot for the first 15 minutes of the game. And then all of a sudden, they scored and equalised, and it just knocked the stuffing out of us. And that wasn't the same Wrexham side I've seen play the last 4 games, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, it's not like we played poorly either. I think we just got outplayed by a better team. At the end of the day, we can say what we want, but both of us predicted first part of the season, before the season, started, that we thought that Birmingham are the team to beat, and they are the team to beat. So for us to go down, against a team who's invested $20 million more than us, and
that player scored twice.
Yeah.
Fucking Jay Stansfield, I tell you what,
but it's worth every cent. And I think that's the whole point. We said they were trying to buy their way out of the league, and they have. And here's the thing. There's nothing bad against that. Good on Birmingham. And actually, another shout out to the good fans, the ones who aren't saying shove it in your documentary, but the ones who are actually genuine and know, what it's like to go up and down. Good luck to you. I really hope you do well this season, but I hope we do better at the end of the day. But it's, it is a game at the end of the day.
They still have to come to the Kairos.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing. And look, we just went to St Andrews under the lights with a packed out crowd. They had 25,000. We had 2,000. So look, odds are stacked against you. It's a very hard place to go. There could be plenty of reasons behind why it was a lesser of a performance than what I was expecting. But I would, had the same side showed up that the last 4 games had produced, I dare say we would have done a bit better than a 3-1.
Well, you're talking as if that we had, again, we didn't come up against a side that is a better side. Let's just put it out there. They have $20 million invested. You can't tell me that they're not going to come out with a better side. As much as I love our team and I love our first 11, I love the bench, love what we're putting out there. We can't go, but if we were real Wrexham, if we were the Wrexham we know and love, well, yeah, but you could say the same with Birmingham against fucking Wigan the other week. If it was the same Birmingham that turned up every other week, maybe it's a different story. But I think we just move on and we go, all right, it's a loss, but it's one of those losses that you walk away from going, look at how far we've come.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. But it's my point being is that aside that we've got and that togetherness we've got, and Birmingham don't have that, they're still forming that. Had we had played the same way that we had done the last 4 games, we would have, we started off that way. But honestly, yes, they were the better side. They were the better side, and they had paid that money for that better team, but they don't have the togetherness that we have. But they are still forming it.
Oh, look, I'm not trying to go against you here, but we got to listen to what you're saying. And I totally get what you're trying to come with. Yes, we're a together team, but you can't say they're not together when you put together a 3-1 against Wrexham. You can't say they're not together and they're still at the early days. Because if you're saying that they're early doors forming that, then they're going to be better and then they're going to roll us at the Kairos. That's what I'm saying. You can't say that they're still forming that togetherness, because if they are, then they're going to be far better than what they were last night, which is scary.
Let's see where we're at when it comes to when they have to come to the Kairos, because home field advantage is a real thing. Granted, they have a $20 million star on their team, but we have a hungry Paul Mullen. he had himself a bit hungry last night. I tried to take a bite out of a player.
Little bit of a nibble. My favorite is everyone's like, get him off, get him suspended. It's like, bro, have you watched it? It's like he goes to do it and goes, it's not worth it. And then he just doesn't do it. And then everyone's still like, it's the intent. It's the intent. He tried to bite. It's like, chill out, guys. Come on. So at the end of the day, we got a humbling, and it is what we needed. We need to be put feet back on the earth, on the ground. That there's a lot of work to do for the rest of this season. It's not that we didn't have a good performance. I still think we played brilliant. We just came up against the side who had our number, have 20 million more numbers than what we've got. They're a better side at this point in time in the season. Like you said, when we get to the Kairos, we'll see where we're at that point. But until then,
that's where you and I have very, very night and day opinion on this, because I do not believe that was our top performance. I do not believe in anything that's our top performance. Had we been on our game, I reckon it would have been a lot closer than a 3-1 thumping.
But here's the thing, it wasn't. So it's the same Wrexham that you saw last week.
Nope. They did
it's
not
the same. Look at the lineup. Look at the lineup. Was it the same lineup?
Same lineup, but they didn't
cool.
play
So
the
that
same.
is 100%. You were right. We can have off days. We can play poorly, but at the end of the day, you have to just take a sip of it and just go, you know what? We stop getting high on your own supply.
I'm not saying that, but they were.
No,
honestly,
but you're saying that we would have beaten them if they had have played like they did last week.
No, I'm not saying we would have beaten them. I've said we would have done a lot better had we been a bit more on form, because we were sitting way too deep. We were sitting off them. We never normally do that. We normally hold the mid block a lot better, but we were sitting well and truly off them, giving them too much space on the ball. Whereas the past 4 games, we've never done that. We've brought the pressure as soon as they start going through the second, third, and the mid. That we've brought the pressure onto the ball carrier. We didn't do that in this game, and that was the difference. And this is what I'm trying to get at, is that there was a clear difference in the way we played the last 4 games to the way we played this game. Yep. Now, whether that be
the opposition made us do that.
Yeah, the opposition made us do that, exactly. But it still comes back to the fact that we weren't on form, on top form. And you have to be, if you're going to stand any chance of beating a side like Birmingham, you have to be in top-notch form. So that's where
we couldn't have been in any better form going into this game. And I think we came up against a side who played us, and they played the game they wanted to play. They dictated it. Your point is very similar. We're coming off the same side of the same coin, but you're coming from a very different angle. You're saying that the same team would do much better if they would perform the way they did last week. But at the end of the day, it's the side that we came up against. You know what I mean? It's a stark difference between Peterborough. It's a stark difference between other weeks we've played. So at the end of the day, I completely agree with you. You're right. You do need to be at your top of your game, but we were, and we came up against a team who.
I think this is a good debate. This will be good for our listeners, but I think you're getting top of the game a bit. Okay, we were top of the game coming into the round.
Yes.
But the way we played was not the top of our game.
Of course. But it's because of the team that we came up against, Rouse. You're discrediting everything Birmingham's doing by saying if we had played the way we did last week, no, it wouldn't have changed anything. We came up against a side who was able to play their game, and we were unable to adapt. We couldn't adapt. And if we had tried to do what we did last week, it would have been the same result, because it's a different team and we have to play differently against them. You are 100% right. We did not play in our top form, and I should 100% redact what I said before when I said we played well. I'm saying we've played well up until this point. We were well prepared. We got the rug pulled from under us, and it was a good humbling. But at the end of the day, we're top of the table, so who gives a fuck? whether you beat Birmingham, whether you beat Birmingham away or you beat Wigan away, do the points differ, Rouse? Do the points differ? No. They're the same 3 points. So if they drop a game, that's when we can make up for it by a win against Wigan or against fucking anyone. But you know what I mean? We can't keep saying, but if we had have played this way, this, that, the other, we can dissect it till the cows come home. At the end of the day, whether we beat Birmingham or not, let's say we lose against them both legs. Let's say we lose against them at the Kairos as well, right?
Yeah.
But they lose against Wigan, they lose against Charlton, they lose against Peterborough, they lose against this, and we still beat them to the top of the league, then it doesn't matter. But I don't think that's going to happen. Birmingham are a far greater side than we give credit for. They are a very good side. We predicted them to win the league for a reason, and we need to improve as we go week on week, and we can 100% agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if we did play better, if we played the way we normally played, God knows where it would have gone at the end of the day. But I'm going to leave it at that.
Triple down. He's not double down. He's triple down. He's repeated the same thing. But if we had have played the way we would, give them some credit, Rousey, for fuck's sake.
I refuse to give Birmingham credit. I mean, all they've done was spend fucking money. And
yeah, well, that's what everyone said about us last season, the season before that, the season before that.
Jeez. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking too tired from being up since 2:30 in the morning. But
Yeah.
I look. It was a great game. I thought it was, 27,000 people for a League One game, packed out St Andrews. It was really really good. Could hardly hear on the. I mean, you could hear a little bit of supporters singing, but and when that first goal went in, I was just like, oh, it's game on now. It's game on. We're going to do this. But yeah, sure enough, yeah, the rug definitely did get pulled straight out from under us. McLean got some servings. There was yellow cards for days,
For
and
days.
even a red.
For days, mate. How many yellows?
How about that fight though? Come on. Well, that's a good little knuckle up, don't they?
I think what's funny is like I genuinely didn't think it was going to be a heated match. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was all press. It was all bubbling over. It was media overplaying it. So when the boys came on the park and you see, McLean getting rolled up and actually, to be honest, he didn't actually get rolled up. He rolled up the Birmingham
No, bloody
fans.
Paul Mullen started it.
Yeah.
He legitimately started Paul Mullen. Like, what is going on there? Like,
he's hungry, mate. He wants to be the best at his ability and his craft, and he's not getting that opportunity at the moment. So it's a bit frustrating for him.
I think it's showing. I think he probably needs to just chill out a little bit.
Maybe he's learning from McLean. Who knows? It's like maybe
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but McLean does it with such class, and it's just different gravy when McLean does it. But Paul Mullen is like he would have threw punches. The fact that he thought about biting a guy, and then got up and it was just like game on. I was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, look, he was getting thrown around a bit and he got some calls made in his favor, which was great, but I just don't know if I like that side of Mullen.
Yeah, neither. I mean, it's not him.
Character.
It's out of character, but here's the thing. It's like any player who's been out for a little bit and they're trying to get back into the side. They're trying to make an impact. And I think frustrations boil over because it's not just the 90 minutes either. Do you know what I mean? It's not just during that match. It's on the park, on the training paddock. You're wanting to prove yourself. You want to get selected on the team sheet first pick. You're at home. You're thinking about it. You're talking to your wife. You're playing with your kid, and you're just thinking, shit. Am I going to play on this weekend? Am I going to be starting? Yeah, there is frustration boiling over. Someone made a call at the end of it that he should start next week. That's what we said in the previous segment, in the previous half was.
You mean past Rousey and past Adrian?
Yeah, that's the one. But what is this? Days and Futures Past, like the fucking X-Men.
Back to the Future.
But honestly, it was. I don't even know where I was going with this. My point is, there was a call made on Twitter saying he should start, and you and I said he shouldn't start at this point in time when something's working. Well, it didn't work on the weekend. Well, you could say it did with Marriott scoring, but what I'm saying is now is the time going. Okay, here's your excuse to put Mullen starting. If there is any excuse to do it, it's now. Whether Parky is going to take that biting thing lightly and just go, oh yeah, just a bit of hilarity there and let him start, or if he's going to go, that's stupid, Paul, what are you doing, you're starting on the bench again because of it, who knows? But I don't think that's something that'll happen. I reckon he'll start next match. I think he will start against Crawley, and I think we will see a return to form, but I think you're right. I don't like seeing him get frustrated because it just takes one little thing to go too far, like following through with a little nibble and you're banned for a couple games. So it all just boils over.
Don't mind me a bit of biting, but normally I like to be wined and dined first.
And 69.
Have a little bit of candles out and get the old sense going. And then you can chow down. But I mean, yeah, to do it in a football match in front of everyone, I don't know.
Nah, a bit silly. And I mean, here's the thing, he didn't do it. Here's the thing.
You ever been bitten before?
Hey?
Someone ever tried to take a chunk out of you before?
While playing football or like?
Well, just in general.
Just in general, I want to say yes. People have been taking a chunk out of. Take that context as you will. Because, but no, but like I think the biggest thing out of this for me is what you said. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. It's not a sad occasion. We are top of the table. Like we're a pretty damn good side. You're right. We've got the togetherness. We're a really good thing. And to be honest, it's always good to be not the hunted. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, that game just proved right. Birmingham are the team to beat right now, right? Well, I'm not saying I'm still sure every week everyone's coming after us because it's Wrexham and they're worried about being on a documentary and being embarrassed or whatever the fuck they think. But it's good to know as a Wrexham club that, okay, there was a ceiling to what we could do against them. We need to surpass that. And Marriott was an example of, hey, he still had a great game. He still played well. So, you know, it's not all bad. We can have bad games and take stuff from it. And I think Bolton was a really good example of that with that draw, because that was a draw that felt like a win. And I want to say it was Tim from Fearless and Devotion or might have been even Ramble, but someone tweeted saying, I've never walked away so happy from a loss. And it's a great way to think of it, because someone said it's a long way away from Braintree, playing them. It's a long way away from playing those kinds of clubs. And we're coming up against a club with investment, trying to get back into the Premier League.
And can we ban David Beckham from any of our games?
Oh, by the way, yeah, what the fuck? Every time he shows up, we lose. So he needs to just stop.
He just needs to go away. Just don't show up to any Wrexham games. And on that note, did you see that? I take notice of the strangest things in some of these games, but I happened to notice Tom Brady looking completely disinterested in his team, looking down at his phone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, come on, dude, this is your team. You got to scream for them. And, cut to the shot of Rob McElhenney getting behind the boys at Wrexham. It's like, that's how you cheer them. Don't sit your face in the phone.
Now, I mean, it's so funny because I've seen, like a good example is the day we went up from the National League. They cut to Rob and Ryan. Obviously, it's a very different scenario, but you did still see them looking at their phones, and it's probably because they're talking to other people who are watching the game. And I think that's it. Let's use Mark as an example. Our mate Mark, who from WA, who when we were with him, he was in his phone. It's not because he was disinterested. It's because he's talking about the game to other people that are not in the room with him. So I'm giving Brady the benefit of the doubt, but I must admit the best chant of the day was, "Who the fucking hell are you? Who the fucking hell are you?" Like it was just like, it was probably my favorite when Tom Brady walked past. But good on him. I hope his team does well this season, but I just hope we do better.
Yep, I hope we do better too, and I hope we give him a warm welcome to the Kairos next year when they come on.
When is that, by the way? Is that like Australia Day weekend?
I don't know. I think so. I'll have to get the old Googles out to check that one.
Yeah, fucking
Let's have a look. Let's get the old Googling out.
The Google machine.
The Google machine, and have a quick look see. And when are we facing them next? Let's have a look. Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham. Australia Day, 1:30 a.m. Australia Day for me, and for you it'd be midnight.
Okay, I can do that. That's a bit better than 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, better than whatever the fuck 4 a.m. it was for me. So that was.
So, all right. Well, let's move on. We lost. We sucked.
But hey, we're top of the table.
We're top of the table still. So, go shove that in your documentary. So,
well said.
We got Crawley this weekend. The old followers up from League Two. They latched onto the coattails of us and
Stockport.
Yeah, so Crawley went up, Stockport went up, we went up, and Mansfield went up. And now we're going to verse Crawley. Now, this should be hopefully an easy task. Last time we versed them, we beat them 4-1.
Yeah,
Now, but
that was
League
a good
One
day
side,
that
they've
game.
done all right. They're not, they're not too shabby. They're not doing too bad. But I mean, effectively, this could be our easiest game. Hopefully, touch
Oh,
wood.
fuck. I hate when you say that,
All
Rouse.
the wood.
I hate when you say that.
All right, this is not going to be our easiest game. This is going to be the hardest game of the lot.
Thank you. Then we probably smash them 6-0 now because you've got to
I'm
underplay it.
100% predicting a loss.
Yep, there we go. That's all I'm after.
Gonna have a sad wank in the corner and just
There it
forget
is.
about my troubles because we suck and we do not stand a chance. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I was asking for.
Well, anyway, Crawley, what do we see happening here?
Well, it's a good barometer to see how far they've come as well, because there is investment. When you move up, you get more money, you get more players who are interested in playing for you. We've seen what Stockport have been doing, we've seen what Mansfield have been doing, but we haven't really heard much about what's happening with Crawley. So, look, just a quick little rundown of what they've been doing. I'm just to show you little stats here. So currently on the table, Crawley are sitting in 13th position. They've only got 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. A goal difference of they've scored 4 and conceded 6. Goal difference of -2, and obviously with the 7 points. But then again, they sit with other teams like Peterborough, Reading on equal points. So and Wickham. So these are all teams we know and have played. I think that is a gauge that it would be a win. I know you can't read into stats too much, but they're sitting where Reading are, where Peterborough are, where Wickham are. So point is, they're all in the same kind of position. I think we're going to win. We're playing at home, aren't we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I just don't see that. I don't see a loss or a draw on the cards. I just don't know what the scoreline's going to be. Do they score against us with what they've put out recently? I'm not too sure. I think we've just copped 3. I don't think Okonkwo is going to want to concede anymore, so I'm going with a clean sheet, and I'm going with a 3-0 scoreline to Wrexham.
Well, looking at what they did, they lost to Barnsley.
Yep.
They drew with Stockport. They lost to Wigan.
Yep.
And they beat Cambridge. Yeah. And then they've done well in the EFL Cup and the Football League Trophy. And then they lost in the EFL Cup 4-0 and got a red card. So look,
mixed bag.
You would think that we would have the upper hand here, which we do. It's at the Kairos. I'm going to go with a Rousey's prediction of 5-0.
Whoa.
Yep. I'm going all out with this one because I think, well, look, normally, and I remember last year when we were doing this pod, last season when we were doing this pod, we noticed a trend that when Wrexham lost a game, they came back with an absolute fucking fierce vengeance. That was true up until we went on that losing streak. But I'm hoping that sour taste of the loss, they're going to want redemption for. And I think it could be in a goals galore game. And I reckon we've got a 5-0 coming our way.
Well, I mean, I'm going with 3-0, mate, so only 2 less than you. So at the end of the day, we're both predicting a win. If we win, even if it's 1-0, the 3 points don't change. Obviously, goal difference is great. If we can boost that, that'd be great. Considering we conceded 3, it's nice to just, push up a little bit and, almost counter that. But yeah, 3-0 for me, mate. I just don't see Okonkwo letting anything through over the weekend. He's probably going to be really upset that the 3 went in. Obviously, nothing he could do about it, but I know that they're going to be raring to go. And to be honest, like we said, I think, as I said, if we won on the weekend, I'd say don't change it, but we didn't. So because we lost,
could have stopped if he parried it away to the side instead of back in front of the striker.
Yeah, I know, but also the ball shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. But that's what I'm kind of getting at. But I think Mullen probably does start. I know in the last segment we said, no, don't change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, right now it's technically broke because we lost. So we
Do you
need.
reckon we're going to go with Mullen Marriott?
I mean,
how would that work? The Eminem.
I mean, I don't see Marriott not starting. So if Mullen's going to start, then it probably is alongside him.
Would they play well together alongside each other though? Because Marriott's more of a Mullen type player, but I just it just depends how well they play together, because Marriott and Palmer seem to do really well, but Palmer does well with Mullen as well.
It's
and
also
Mullen and Fletcher seems to work pretty well, but there's a lot of combinations you can throw out there. I would like to see Mullen Marriott. I reckon that would be, I'd be really interested to see how that would actually go down. So,
well, I'm just looking at their players from the centre back position. They're all about 180 centimeters, so they're not massive, but massive for a football player. One of them's 189, so Scott Malone's their tallest. I just think that if they can do it, I mean, you also got to understand it also comes up who they stack up against, because if they've got two fuck off centre backs who are just going to monster them if they're too small, then possibly it is just sticking with the same method, and then Mullen maybe gets a start in a couple more weeks. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see some changing ups this week. This is the time to change it. Do you know what I mean?
You know what?
We talked about it.
We need to go out there in the January window and pay 25 million for Mini Messi.
That's how we win. I guess that's how it's done.
Mini Messi, mate. Just get Mini Messi out there. 25 mil. He'll do the job. He'll slide it away.
You know what though? I was like thinking, because you know how Ronaldo went to Saudi for the money. He never has to work again. And I mean, he never did beforehand, anyways. But like, he literally could never have. He could literally retire now and do nothing for the rest of his days and still probably earn money from sponsors, all that shit. I always made a joke that I'm just like, wonder if he watches Welcome to Wrexham. Do you reckon he watches the doco and just goes,
Who, Messi or Mini Messi?
I'm talking Ronaldo.
I was talking about Mini Messi.
Well, I'm not talking about Mini Messi. Well, you're talking about Messi and I'm talking about Ronaldo. They're the two.
No, I'm not talking about
two
Messi.
goats.
I'm talking about Mini Messi.
Oh, who's Mini Messi?
Oh, dude, you got to go into my Stoner's dungeon, man. He's all over there.
Oh, this guy doesn't talk about real things. He just talks about figments of his weed imagination.
He's a little person, right? He's vertically challenged. And he plays football and he does all these like fancy little step overs and they call him the Mini Messi. And so that's where I was getting at. You completely here's the joke. You went woo, right over your
But what's
head.
funny is it's such an inside joke for you and only you.
I bet you there's someone out there that knows about Mini Messi on Instagram.
I mean, I'm sure they do, mate, but I'm also thinking we're talking about actual players here. But I forgot we're not a real podcast. So we're not a real podcast. So I get it now. I get it. Nah, fair enough. Let's just talk about getting stoned and drunk on the weekends and Elliot Lee stonker. Like, sounds like that's our vibe, isn't
it? All right. So you're going with 3-0. I've gone with 5-0.
Yep.
I think either way, we're going to have an interesting game this weekend. So let's wrap up this podcast from future Rousey and future Adrian. After this, we'll have some chit chat and just wind things up for the day. Let's go. Woo! Well, that is it for another week. Well, almost a week, because we have a very special episode coming out on the 22nd of September. So stay tuned for that. It's an extra episode of the Two Beards podcast, which is going to be very, very special, something that we feel very dear about. So we're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to an absolute pantsing this weekend. I mean, let's just hope that happens. I hope
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I think, both of us, I thought I was predicting a high score with 3-0, but you going with 5-0 has kind of thrown me off a little. I'm like, shit, are we going to lose now because Rousey's predicted us to smash them. So let's see, let's see how we go. But I'm
How
looking
about
forward to it.
if we lose on the weekend, I get to bite your head like Paul Mullin.
I don't know how that's a good punishment for anyone. So I think what I think we can do is just hope for a win, mate, and support our club. We don't have to have bets to enjoy the footy.
Yeah, true. Uh, I just don't. I get to the end of these podcasts and I get so glum because it's like it's the end of talking to Adrian for another week.
Yeah,
It's and
gonna ghost him.
then I got to hassle you and bother you to get you to respond
Yeah.
and
Just
get
going to
me
ghost him for the week. And it's, you know what? It's my favorite part of the week is just seeing his messages and deleting them and then acting like I never received anything. It's like probably my favorite pastime. But no, it's not. We talk, we have fun. And, we only our friendships only blossomed.
You got yourself some Wrexham lager yet?
I have not. Unfortunately, the Golden Grove has sold out. So hopefully.
Sold out?
Yeah. So.
Son of a bitch, really?
Yeah, so I thought it was because they didn't have any, but went in there and they've said that they actually sold out. So I don't know how much they got though. Do you know what I mean? They probably have to distribute it amongst like the different Dan Murphys. So definitely I'm going to the one. I think there's one. It's like outside the city. It's not that far outside. It's like 10 minutes from the city. It's not that far. So after work, I'll just go there and they don't close till 9 or whatever. So I'll just go there after work tomorrow, I reckon. But I wanted to get it before the game last night. But then I was like, am I going to be drinking at 4:30 in the morning on a work day? No, probably not. so I just kind of left it. But yeah, no, definitely want to get some for the weekend.
I went to bed so early to watch this game and get up. Like, I woke up and there's all these messages, even messages from you and in between you and Mark and all that.
Me and Mark, yep.
Oh, I was just like, I woke up and I saw them all. And I was like, damn it, I've missed all this interaction I could have been a part of. And no, but I was fast asleep. And sure enough, I was able to wake up just on time for. I mean, it really fucking sucks getting up that early. It really does.
It does. I think the best part is like we wouldn't have it any other way, right? Like, I mean, other than obviously. It'd be nice to, when we go over there, to watch a game when there's the fucking sun's up. But like, yeah, other than that, it's, I'm really proud.
Every game's a night game for us.
Yeah, every game's a night game. And my favorite is like and then even the night games are still technically night games. We're like, fuck, like can't even get it. It's like, oh, it's okay. It's a night game for them. Therefore, it's a day. No, it's not. It's still fucking 4 a.m.
How about that light show at the old Birmingham game, eh? That was pretty impressive. It was kind of like what they have at Optus Stadium, though.
I was about to say it's very similar. It's similar to what like a lot of the football grounds in Australia have something similar. It's not as bad.
Want to be epileptic and go into that. I promise you that much.
Well, I hope they do a warning. What's written? No, it's not funny, but it happened. I went to the football last week for the AFL, Australian Rules Football, to watch Geelong Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. As a Geelong fan myself, sitting there, and they did the lights thing. And then they said, just to let you know, if you have epilepsy, we do a light show, so just be warned. And I looked to my dad, I'm like, didn't they just do the lights?
That is typical Australia, though.
Oh, they're like, oh, too late. And it's like, dude, what happens if someone didn't know? They rock up, they're like, I'm excited, they've got epilepsy, they don't know. That happens. And then they're like, oh, just to let you know afterwards, we do lights. Oh,
that's such an Aussie thing. That is such an Aussie thing. It's like, yeah, no, we told you afterwards, you'll be right.
Yeah, it's still legal. Still, we did the legal part. Honestly, like I was pretty upset. I wasn't saying I was upset, but I was just like, what? How the fuck are people allowed to function like that? Like, if that was in the States, someone's getting sued. But anyway.
Oh shit.
Is what it is.
Guys, this brings us to the end of the podcast for another week. It's sad, I know, but hey. Get on with it. We get on with our lives. And
hey, but we got an extra one this week, mate. So everyone gets to chat with us more. We chatted twice this week for like 4 or 5 hours.
No, geez, how on earth did you get through that?
I don't know. I've been injecting it underneath the table, but
Oh dear. Well, guys, reach out to us. Comment down below any input you want to give us. We love reading your comments. If you want to shout out on next week's episode, give us a super thanks or a super chat or whatever it is. Or become a fuckhead Links will be in the description down below. $5 a month, base minimum tier. That's all you need to do. So
we got one super thanks in the YouTube comments, and he's like, "Did you know that we get super thanks where people can donate and just say
it's the
thanks?"
coolest thing ever.
It is. It's cool, but it's just so funny. Ever since then, you're like, if you want, you can super thanks us.
Yeah, give us a super thanks. We'll feature your comment on the next podcast. That's what we will do. Hey,
you know what though? I would not be surprised if someone took this as an opportunity to go, you know what? Yeah, I'll pay a super thanks. I'll pay $5, $10, whatever it is. But I'm just going to write something fucking horrible in the comments.
Oh yeah, and I will absolutely put that on the next podcast. 100%.
Oof, that is a call to arms for all teams who hate us. or even just the Wrexham fans who hate us, because there is a small contingent.
We know you hate us. Give us money.
It's just called, what is it? Reverse psychology. Just say, yeah, we don't want that. No, we don't want it.
All right. Well, guys, that's it for this week.
Thanks for joining our TED Talk.
Subscribe the shit out of it. You know what to do. We will see you on the next episode for a very special episode.
Very special.
On the 22nd of September. I'm your host, Rousey. Ginger Ninja over there is Adrian. Good old Nibbles. See you on the next episode. Bye. Woo.